Rivers, Kano and Porta and Lagos, and if you're higher than above the other one, you win. The spread will not come this time around. Do you share their view that we may likely have a rerun?
Amechi, good morning. TV, good morning, dear listener. These are researchers. They've done their research and they've gathered opinions, and that's why they came up with this conclusion. But I must say that, as TV said, people are saying, watchers are saying that we have a three-horse race now because obedient people have come up. But I heard my friend saying yesterday we have obedient PDP members, obedient APC members, obedient NNPP members, obedient ABGA members, and we also have obedient members. Be that as it may, I want to quickly say there is something biting me inside, the issue of some state governors putting big amounts on billboards and posters displayed in their states. That is a concern, and we must...
That's for advert fee?
Advert fee on the billboards.
You to erect a billboard?
Yes.
You must pay a certain amount?
Kogi State is started with that big, huge amount.
Anambra State started.
So I must call on the authorities. Is
why, it 10 million for any political party?
The presidential.
That is why I keep... some of us keep saying that, are we operating a loose economy? We should have price control mechanisms. What happened to the Standard Organization of Nigeria? What happened to the pricing regulators that we have? I studied economics. I did part of economics in school, and I was taught price regulation. So where are those agencies that regulate these prices? A state cannot just wake up and put what kind of a stupendous amount on a billboard because it's an opposition coming.
Federal system of government.
Very well.
Once if there is a law enabling the government to do that, if the State House of Assembly, if the federal law does not override, if it happens to be in the concurrent or residual list, the state government is at liberty. Now, once a law has been passed by the State House of Assembly and empowers any agency to fix a price, they'll fix the price. Good. And there's nothing anybody can do about it. The only thing you can do is to go to the state and put pressures on them.
Good. No, nothing anybody can do, according to you.
Outside the state.
My concern is they should not be vindictive in this thing.
I understand what you're saying.
We talked about denying the opposition party from making use of the media space. And this is the advertorial is part of the media space. Mm-hmm. We call on all state governors or state agencies or whoever to look into this. And also, we are very careless about tax collection.
Let me ask you, media houses are also getting set to also reap in this windfall. Mm-hmm. Would you advocate a situation where a body will put a cap on their advertising fees and rates?
We have our rate in dark communications.
Yes.
And I believe all other media houses have their rate. Mm. So the FCT administration will not come and say anybody placing advert on DA should pay certain amount.
So it's the same with the states.
But outdoor advert, that's what I'm calling on the agencies, authorities in charge of this outdoor advert. They should come up and sit down with the state government so that the state government will not be dictating for them what they already have. They have regulation, they have prices they put in place for advertisement. A state government cannot just come and say, no, you must pay 10 million naira for certain...
A state government regulates advertising. Maybe
if you have a company, if you have a company that operates outdoor advertisement, you have your rates, just like a newspaper. You have your rates. So your rates should be what you manage, not a state government coming to say this is what advertisers should pay. That's my concern.
It's such that it's not necessarily that they're regulating advertising. There's an agency for that, the Advertising Regulatory Council of Nigeria.
APCON.
No, we've changed the
ARCON, yes. Advertising Regulatory.
The fee for the copy, the fee for all of that and all of this is there. What the states are requesting for is the ground rent. That space where you are.
Okay. When you erect that people,
that ground, that place, that's what you are. I don't know, the states are in charge of land.
It belongs to them.
So that's what their jurisdiction. But just like what Abulu is saying, I think, and what should be done, you saw that there's a fee they are collecting right now as it is. They should please maintain that fee. They don't want to increase it. It will increase the cost.
Come with an unreasonable.
That's what we should be. We shouldn't come with an unreasonable. Because don't forget, if you think you are not involved in this election, like Yaya Bello and what's the other man? Your man.
Soludo.
So if you think you are not involved in this election as a candidate, no problem. It's fine. But it's only a moral issue that you should not. Don't forget those if we charge those who will win. They will recover the money now.
Yes, and that is where it takes us to the role of finances, campaign funding in an election, especially presidential election. For cabinet parliamentary system, the fund may not be as much because the candidates to the parliament would zero in on their constituencies, and you don't need that national platform to the prime minister we met from one of those that were elected into the parliament. But for presidential election, when we copied the presidential system from US, we didn't realize that there are some implications that come with it. If you don't have money, finances, campaign war chest, they call it, you're already at a disadvantage in US and in Nigeria. An international media house did an estimate and arrived at how much you need to spend before you win a presidential election in Nigeria. And it's not a small fund.
Amechi, that brings me to your opening, where you say that it's a long time for political parties to campaign, and if you go visit a real father, you must dip your hand, you must have deep pocket and stuff. But don't forget, there is a group also saying that we no go give shishi.
Yes.
Good. So if you are saying that you must go with deep pocket, are you encouraging?
No, the shishi they are talking of is to induce the people, and there are some expenses you can run away from. Like the Labour Party that says we no go give shishi, they will still take up media spaces, they still pay for billboards, so that one is settled. But in the US, and that's the situation we have here, somehow we are used to a unitary system of government. In the US, there are different laws as you move across the states.
Sure.
If you're a lawyer in the state of New York, you cannot practice law in Texas. As it were, in Nigeria, you are called to the bar, you can practice elsewhere. If you're a lawyer, if you're called to the bar in state of California, you have to sit for exam in another state because the work happens elsewhere is not their problem. And the charges in the big states, Texas, California, the ones the economy are so big and there's so much population there, the fees you pay for property or any other thing is so huge compared with these smaller states.
It's same thing with Abuja and
yes,
Port Harcourt.
Till a time we begin to practice our federalism, we understand that states are where the cocoa, as you say, local balance is. You should go to the states, especially states that are wealthy, that have huge potentials, instead of running to Abuja to depend on huge federal government, which many say are inefficient. That's what the takeaway as we go into this campaign. States are already flexing their muscles,
could that be why a state Wike is holding on to his conviction that ASUU must go, because
no, that one is
because Rivers State is a big state, and coming from what you are saying now, coming from the breakdown you are giving now, Rivers State is one of the richest states in Nigeria, and you don't joke with it. Rivers State, when it comes to election, they have over 3 million voters.
You don't joke with Lagos. Lagos has the money, they have the population. You don't joke with Kano. They have the money, they have the population. You don't
so that is why
Rivers, they have the money, they have the voters, as it were.
Dude, that is why some persons are saying that the PDP should quickly settle its internal crisis and
let them,
the APC as well, because you have strong grounds and you must hold your strong grounds and go into the three-horse, as they say, race.
Some supporters of NNPP will say, what are you telling me? What are you saying? Are you taking away NNPP? Have you forgotten about the Kwankwasia? Is coming back to meet them. Abulu, the strike is one of them. How many days has the strike been?
Day 227 today, and we understand that on Friday, Femi Falana, the lawyer of ASUU, appealed and filed for stay of execution. And I hope to see how it turns out. I see all over the media space that vice chancellors are reopening universities. Universities were never closed, for crying out loud. It's lecturers that say they will not lecture. SANU and NASU, they've resumed. And NAT have resumed. So universities are wide open. So if a VC is saying that we are reopening university, it's just stating the obvious.
So what's the university without the lecturers? It's just like you climb the palm tree and you don't come down with the palm wine. What's the essence? But you can use the palm frond for other purposes. That's the advantage. So the schools have remained open. Some students are still in school. They prefer to be in school, doing their project, doing their research. The lecturers also claim they are still doing research, even as they are not lecturing. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. We'll return tomorrow with another edition. On behalf of the crew, my name is Amici, and I hope you have a good time.